People come in for the shop drawings Revit detail standard updates. Last few months, the library team and also Team Lee and also Gabe helps us to make some changes on the standard, also some detail components, the way we create the details to make drafter much easier. Because since Advancer is no longer with us, so now the Team Lee or drafter has to create the details. So try to make more easy standard to follow. That's our goal. So today I'm going to go over the basic stuff, and also we have some changes and also additional items. So that's what I'm going to go over. It should be like easy, 30 minutes, kind of short training, I hope. Okay, so Revit detail standard update. What we changed is the biggest change is our detailed catalog and also all family for the models and also details. Generic model or tags, everything is now 2018 version. So it used to be 2017 last year, but we upgraded to the 2018. So hopefully no one has 2017 version project right now. We did the research and no one has it so far. And hopefully 2017 version project won't come back. But if you have 17 or if you have to use 17 version in any reasons, please contact to Team Esli. Esli is the one who is taking over that, I believe. But from now on, we are going to use 2018 version. So all the detailed catalog file, right now we have Unified System catalog and also embed detail catalog, TechWall system, and also we have MJR Shadow Shoebox catalog. This is kind of job specific one, but we have 4 different catalogs on J Drive. These are all 2018 version. And also standard project template is updated to the 2018. And as I said, all families model and also detail component, all families are 2018. Generic model as well, and the anchors, fasteners, everything's 2018. So that's the biggest change. And the next one, we do have few detailed component updates. So that's what I'm going to go over. So I also provide the a document for the team. So where you can find is, sorry, since I still have some linking issue on the new portal, I'm using the old one. So from the new portal, if you have any issues with the wiki, I would recommend you to go back to the old one. I think Tina is fixing right now. Under the Revit Detail Library wiki page, we do have a standard and tool for the drafters. So the first section explain how you guys can import the drafting view from the detail catalog. And nothing changed, but the number 2, creating detail in Revit, that one is the PDF file, I think about 20 pages long, and it shows all step-by-step when you create the process of creating the details in a Revit. And then I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to use the standard template, how to name the view, and also what's the view template. And then if you like to use the 2D detail library, this is a step-by-step portion. If you don't see any 2D detail library on your Revit, how you can load it to your Revit. That's how I explain. And then also how to use the detail library when you like to use it. So then also place detail family onto drafting view. So you can use, you can see the 2 methods, starting from the properties or project browsers. That's what we always do. And then from here, I'm going to explain the all detail components. So that's the, we have few new items. We already covered some new items at the engineering team meeting or drafting team meeting, but we didn't do any demonstrations. So I think this is a good timing to show how to use. And then also this document covers what's the drafting standard. So when you place the dimensions, that's the dimension spacing you should follow and stuff like that. And then how to add the tag. If you like to add the notes for the tag, this is the step. And also sometimes we have to switch the fastener type from steel to the painted finish or stainless. That's how you can change inside the properties. So then this is the new item that I'd like to cover. And then you guys may already know, but we add the break shape generator. This is the biggest tool Alan made for us. So this is also step by step. You can draw the outline of the break shape, and then what is the process of the getting the break shapes. So let me get my Revit file. Let me do some demonstrations. So to draw the break shape, first of all, we have to draw the outline of the break shape. The line type doesn't matter. I usually use the reinforcing because this is the red color and easy to see it. So, but it's up to you guys. Some people use just a regular line or hidden, whatever you like. The line type doesn't matter. So after you drew the outline, here is the location, break shape generator, and then select the outline. So now you see the finish or cancel. So hit the finish, then you got this pop up. So you can choose the material between aluminum, steel, composite, and also the thickness. It's preset. And also you'd like to have close open or close end or close start or close end. And also if you like to add the text when you insert the break shape, you can do this. If you like to do your own way, you can uncheck or check it. And then at return leg, this is the panel return leg line. If you like to add, you can check it. And you can also specify what's the length. If you don't need it, you can uncheck also. After you set up everything, hit OK. And then now you got this, click to choose field directions. Hit OK. And then select the inside the field of directions. This is the one tip. If you select a little bit far from the line, you may get the error message. So try to select to close to the line as much as you can. So then now click to choose return leg field direction. Okay, so I'd like to have this side. So select the inside of the panel. And then now the text note location. So I'd like to have somewhere right here. And then the reader location. So I'd like to have here. So then done. So you have return leg and also the shape, which is field region, correct hatch pattern, and then correct standard notes over here. Any questions on this? Good. Okay. And then the common mistake we sometimes I see is it's probably I'm too picky, but sometimes you have to switch from aluminum to the steel. Then you have to be careful because when you bend the steel or aluminum, the radius of the corner is different. So if you switch it, you may give the fabrication team or you may show incorrect information. So if you really wanted to show the correct one, I would recommend you to redraw with the correct component or correct materials. That's the only stuff sometimes I see in short drawing. So this is
So Eureka, if you have to redraw it, the sketch line was consumed, right? So you just draw another sketch, right?
Yes, because when it's converted to the field region, the original outline was deleted. So you have to redraw it.
Yeah, because I can't imagine too many scenarios where the thickness of the aluminum is the same as the thickness of the steel you're changing to. You know what I mean? So, cool.
Yes. All right. Okay. So the next one is, where'd it go? This one. No, I'm sorry. This guy. Okay. All right. The cork joint stayed same. The only stuff sometimes I see the cork joint is not biased, and we show the line in hidden. And then I see some drafter just draw the like arc line, and then so we actually have a really nice function here, not by Waters and Wolf. So if you select the cork joint, there's a button, and if you check it, it changes to the hidden line. So you don't have to redraw the line. So that saves your time. And then it comes back, just uncheck it, and then that's back to our stuff. And then again, the data is already plugged in. So if you like to put the tag, just hover over, and then you can put the sealant and also back-a-lot tag on it. So it's already there, but I see sometimes we miss it. So this is small function, but really powerful tool. And then you can change the size, whatever you like. So please use that one.
So when it's not by Walters and Wolf, does it add a note that says sealant not by W&W?
Yeah, like an interior sealant, they'd like to see it, but it's not by our, this is not our scope. Then same as the CAD when we show the hidden, and I put the notes, interior sealant not by Walters and Wolf.
But I mean, do we have to write the note, or does it automatically put the note?
Nope, you have to put the notes.
Okay.
So then text. Oops, too small. Sorry, so all should be careful. That's what you have to do. That's a good question. All right, and move to the next one. Sorry about back and forth. Let me close this guy. Okay, drywall. This is the gypsum board. We do put the actually new function. So when you place the drywall, always the starting point is closed, and then the end point is open. So how to change is you can change here. So if you change to 0, then both sides will be open. And our default one is starting point will be closed. And then, as you can guess, number 2 is opposite. And then if you select the number 3, then both sides will be closed. I see some drafter put the field region mask to make the other end open. So that's why I asked, actually, the Gabe actually add the number 0 option to make both open, and also 1 and 2 to switch the closed and open. And then, as you see, you can change the size. If you need the more thicker one, you can change the size of the board to change in the thickness over here. So this is the new functions. And then next one. Glass detail has a lot of functions right now. Used to be we only have glass and laminated, but we actually add the laminated glass inboard and also outboard option. And then we have main panel option as well. So with one family, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different options right now. So to place this guy, same here. Go to the glass detail, and the insertion point is always back of the glass pocket. And if you stretch down 1.5 inch, our default setup is already 1/2 inch bite, and also 1/4 inch from the glass pocket to the back of the glass, and a 1 inch insulated glass unit. So if you like to change the size of the glass or airspace, this is the place you can change. If you like to change to the laminated glass, this one is the also location. And then if you like to add like a 1/16 laminated portion between the glasses, this is the one. So if you add the 1/16, you see the space between, so you can change it. So I see many drafter, even I did the all line works to show the laminated glass, but now it's part of the family, so it's easy for you guys. And then sometimes insulated glass unit, but the inboard panel is insulated, or I'm sorry, inboard panel is laminated, or outboard panel is laminated. So that's how we do. This case, we don't show any spaces between, but you can change the location of laminate film selecting over here. I'm sorry. So this is the outboard one. Whoops. So I'll select the outboard one of the here spacing. So if you like to have the laminate film to 16 from the face of the glass, you can change it. So whatever your glass spec is, you can also specify the location. Same thing on the inboard panel as well. You can change the size or location. Then MAPE panel, we just added like a few weeks ago, since we start having a lot of MAPE panels within our system. So we actually simplify because the MAPE panel actually have the plastic core inside, has the hatching, but just simply shows the outside of the board. So then even this guy, if you like to change the panel thickness, you can change it over here, whatever the glass spec is or your specification of the panels. And then thickness of this guy is actually adding the outboard thickness, airspace, and inboard thickness. So, you know, right now I have 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to make 1 inch. So if you like to make it more bigger and then just add up any place, because this is the total thickness of the panels. Okay. So that's the new one. Any questions on the glass detail family? No? Okay. And then there's also 2 new items. We actually have glazing aluminum panel and also glazing composite panel. So drafter doesn't have to do any field vision manually yourself, because it used to be we used the brake shift generator and it plugged in, but now it's plugged in inside the family. So this one. So go to the glazing aluminum panel. Same, always insertion point is back of the system, and you can just drag it down. So then now this is a family. You can change the thickness of the panel. I'm sorry, this is too big. Or your project specifications. And then also the glass bite is same as the glass. So if you like to have, whatever the reason is, if you like to change the bite, you can change inside here. And then panel return leg is 1 inch at the standard condition, but at the corner vertical, we have to have 1.5 inch. So that case, you can change over here in 1.5. So that makes it much easier. Same thing for the composite panel. So then good thing with the composite panel family is, you know, at the corner, we actually have to have USA parts to hold the 90-degree corners. And also we fasten with the fasteners. So Gabriel actually put those parts and also fasteners inside the family as well. So you can tag it if you need it, because the parts are already there. And also fasteners are already there too. Same here, if you need to change the thickness of the panel. The composite panel is specified by the millimeter, so we actually changed to the millimeter. Panel leg, same. If you like to change it, you can change it inside the parameter. And then you don't have to deal with the stupid hatching. We always have issues. So that's the easiest one. So, and that's the new additions. Do you have any questions on those?
I have a question.
Okay.
Is there a new family for non-rectangular glass, or is it still the system panel?
Still the system panel right now.
Okay.
Yes. Like a laked head or parang glass.
Yeah, they have. I think because it's drawn in as just daylight. No bite parameters.
So far, that's what I am understanding. Mike, what would you do?
Yeah, that's what I did on Santana West.
Yeah.
Just same as before. And no bites. Yeah, you just
No
stick
bites.
it in. I don't think you can do bites on it.
So it goes to like daylight to daylight.
Chris, are you talking about the glaze-in panels or the back pans?
No, the glazed in. I think Zach's code to determine the size of the setting block was based on the square footage from Revit, and if the square footage was on the border of one size to the next, it would pick the lower because it was it just ran daylight rather than having the bytes in it.
Okay.
Just wondering if on this drafting update there was any change to the family for the glass.
So for we're still doing the same thing. System panel.
Also, that data lives in the model more than the details. So I think like what we're seeing here is kind of the detailing piece of it, but the model, the way that Gabe's building the units now, the changing the units to G units, we can probably address that in that part of it. You know what I mean? Because it has the glass bytes, so we should be able to calculate the overall glass size
Okay.
rather than, you know, taking the daylight.
I think they were manually being adjusted in the unit assembly drawing for these non-rectangular glass.
Yes,
So-
because the non-rectangular is right now is not a curtain panel, it's a system panel and it only goes daylight. So, but we're having a meeting tomorrow to figure out how we're doing the non-rectangular lights in G units. So hopefully we'll have a solution to that as we come out of that meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve, should I bring this one up to like SZ meeting?
I think it's a known problem, you know, with the way we model the curtain walls today in operations.
Okay.
So it should be something we'll be able to solve. I'm hoping with the meeting tomorrow, we'll kind of move that forward. That was going to happen in the ESLI meeting and then it moved to tomorrow. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. So then we covered the glass, laminated glass, inboard, outboard, make panel, and the insulation. This is the same, so we can say same thing. Oops, not this one. I'm sorry. So very unlike the CAD, this is actually at the center place. So when you place it, you have to pick the center. And then if you like to change the width of the insulation width, you can change inside here to fit in the 6-inch metal studs or whatever your stud size is. And then, sorry about back and forth. So metal studs also same. And then as I mentioned on the gypsum board, we have 3 options for the end. Number 1, which is default, the start point is closed, but the end point will be open. And number 2 is opposite. And number 3 is both sides are closed. The reason why we don't have the 0 option is we don't want to have both open metal studs. So this one has only 3 options. Plaster, same. Let me do this. Same as the gypsum board. Opening and oops, I'm sorry. Right here. And then good thing is, again, we can change the thickness. If you need the custom J mode for the proper water sealing, you can change inside here. Right now, the 1/4 inch return for the outside and a 1 inch return at the inside, which is the like kind of picture frame outside of the plaster board. But sometimes we have to have a longer leg, so we can change inside here and then put the notes for the draft for the GC for the coordinations. Okay. And shim, same. Number 2 shim, we can change the size or you can drag. I think this is the one you guys use most. We use most. And then we also have slot hole or the like any movement or the fastener slots. Same here, you can specify the height and also width. And that's the all detail component we have inside here. Do you guys have any requests for Alan that probably like to have any additional component over here so then easy to access? So I'm kind of thinking maybe if Alan can add the this one, the glazing component, glazing composite panel, and also glazing aluminum panel, because those two are not in the shortcut menu right now. So when you place it, you have to go to the annotate component and then select the family, or go to the project browser and you have to drag in. But if you have in here, it's kind of easy to select it. That's what I'm going to ask him to add it. But if you have any other items that like to have in a shortcut menu, send the email to me or Alan, so then we can add it to make you guys easy.
Do you, so there's always just thinking about like drafting and what we usually end up with on details, because that's what we're talking about here.
Yes.
I'm just curious, like, you know, just starting at the bottom, and we've always got some kind of concrete curb or concrete, you know, situation at the sill. Did we finish that tool for doing the perimeters for concrete? Was that you already have?
What I usually do is go to annotate region and select the all hatching, whatever I'd like to have, let's say concrete, and then draw the shapes. If we need the curve or whatever, and hit OK. That's how I do. And I think that's how we do.
We were working on a parametric tool for
Perimeter conditions.
Curbs and you know, the concrete at the sill, you know, so you could kind of just change a few options and it would give you, because you kind of want that open concrete underneath, and you know what I mean, like when you're got that edge condition. But I don't know if we ever finished that. So that was one thing.
Okay, I think we do have. Probably I didn't load it, but we do have the metal deck edge conditions.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah, I know we were working on the slab one, but I was thinking of the one
Curve and.
Yeah, that the sill, you know, because you always have the sill, right? It's like sometimes the concrete's just like this, sometimes it has the curb, sometimes the curb's set back, and sometimes you have the outside piece. So I just wasn't sure. And then we have a plaster tool. Would it make sense to have, like, I mean, I don't know what other substrates you're usually running into, but that's usually where some of the work is, right? Is in sketching out the substrates.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure if that would make sense to have like a GFRC tool or a precast tool but that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, GFRC. Yeah, I use the GFRC hatch right now, whatever we have. But you know, like every time we have to have the precast perimeter conditions, I have to draw the like a return leg and then coming back. Yeah, it's kind of hassle. If we can have family or parametric perimeter families, that helps us too.
Yeah, the GFRC one would be good because I know like when they have those, like the turns, they have like a certain radius for like the inside. So if we had something like that, that would be great.
But right now what we have is the team is we actually copied from the profile drawing, and then Jumpstart team just copied from some other project. So it won't fit to your project, or carried over incorrect thickness or incorrect return. So we have to double check with the precast drawing anyway. But I think precast is usually, they have a kind of standard. So if we can get those data, then start creating the parametric family for that too.
Yeah, so just, you know, as you guys are thinking about, that's all I was thinking about, was just the stuff that used to take me time, which was redrawing stuff from the architecturals that we don't even do.
Right.
You know, so these tools, when we built them in AutoCAD, were the start of that to sort of simplify all that perimeter stuff we have to do, right? So these look great because they're just an improvement on what we did before, but just thinking maybe taking a little further and capturing some of the other substrates, tile and terracotta, and you know, why not have a nice little thing that does everything, right? So
right. Or what I usually do is the once I create the one stuff, I just make as the group, and then I can recycle inside the project. Yeah, that's what I do. Instead of drawing one by one every single time.
yeah, and I think Revit's better that way too. You have a lot more options for that too. And I wasn't sure even, if you can copy the stuff right out of the architecturals, if you have the architectural Revit file, couldn't you just go to the sheet and grab their 2D line work and not have to redo it, right? So
Probably, yeah. I
so
haven't tried it yet. So.
idea for drafting, to borrow from the architecturals rather than redrawing it, you know what I mean? So
That's a good idea. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's move next one. The other drafting items, the sealant stays same. So we have type 1 and a type 2 sealant. We can switch inside the properties. And then we also have really nice features. Sometimes we like to have number 2 sealant next to the gasket, and if we don't want to have the line, you can actually erase or hide the sealant line inside the property box as well. And then glazing aluminum panel, I already covered. And then composite panel, we also covered those two. It's a new one. And as you see, same. We have number 1, 2, 3, the end options on both aluminum panel and also composite panel. So if you like to show the both return, you can select number 3. Or if you like to have opposite side, then you can choose the number 2. Okay. And then biggest change this time is line types. Right now, if you look at the line type on the Revit, we have many different line types. There's the parentheses and also hidden lines, medium lines, thin lines, white lines. So then that creates a lot of confusion. And then even me myself, I don't know which one I should use. So we discussed as the standard team and also the family team. And then we decided to create the kind of same layer setup what we do on the CAD, but much simpler. So for the CAD line type layout, if you go to our shop drawing standard wiki page, then we have a lot of layers based on the product, the materials or the conditions, or sometimes detail uses this, but the floor plan uses this, or section use this, or elevation use that. So we actually simplify a bit. So what we are going to do is we set up our own line type, which has WW in front. And then we only can use these. So you don't have to worry about, okay, so in this case, should I use the medium line or thin line or line types? So do the same thing. If you need the center line, go to WW center line. That's it. If you need the hidden, which is also hidden in the layer, which is a cyan color, goes to WW hidden. You also have a red color of hidden 1 layer in the CAD. It goes to hidden number 1. So you can have same setup. So it's much easy to see which line type you should use. Same sealant is always sealant. We used to have sealant and sealant 1, but we merged to the 1 line. The one still, we used to have steel and steel number 1, but we merged to just one type of the panel, of the line types. So this is the chart of the equivalent of the line types. And then me as the Amber and Gabe actually tried to check everything. I think we covered most, but if you have any questions or the stuff we missed, please let us know, then we can fix the template. This line setup is already plugged in our shop drawing standard template. So for new project, not the actual one, but the new project, start using this setups. And then some of them comes as the Revit standard. So we were trying to get rid of the unused one, but some of the stuff, like most of those stuff, are default set up on the Revit, so we can't delete it. So you still see these one in your project, but try to use the WW line types to make you guys easy. And then that's what the library team and also Team Nestle follows. Any questions on the line types? Then for the futures, let me explain, manage. What we are going to do is probably we are going to use the all known, the line types we can get rid of from the Revit, but we don't want to use. The color, we are going to change the color. So if you accidentally use those layers or those lines, then you see like a yellow or pink or whatever that gives you a notice, hey, you guys are using the incorrect line types. That's what we are going to do. But we have to change a lot of template stuff because we already use the like a hidden or hidden 2 in standard template. So we gave an Team Nestle is working on it right now. So far, just to make sure you use the correct line type. In the future, to give you guys warning, we may change their color on non-used line type. That is our future project right now. Any questions? Okay, and again, if you don't know which line you should use, always here in the shop drawing standard. And also if you go to the Revit data library wiki page, I also put the same chart over here so you guys can take a look. All right, and then last item is text. As you see, same, we do have a lot of text type in Revit, but usually very easy for you guys, 2 types. The regular notes is always notes type. And then any internal notes that require the box outside, please use the internal notes. So then that gives you the quick line outside. Then external notes, in the CAD, we have a command, we will have the crowd outside, but in the Revit, we don't have it. And then we try to make as the other text types, but still struggling. So instead, use the notes, and plus we do have crowd box over here that Alan created, and I put it here, and then change the size if you like to adjust to your application. So inside the property, you can change the box size, or you can just simply drag and then move it, and then you can adjust the size of the crowd box. And if you like to have double line, there's an option of double line as well. So our standard is just the regular note is note, and then internal notes, use the internal notes. And then external note, which the notes for the customers, GC or architect, then text notes plus crowd box. That is our standard. And then used to be the advanced creates their own like a note with the border or note with double borders, or they also create like whatever the text size is. So when we look at the detail, each notes has a different size, different font, but we like to have consistency in a shop drawing. So this is the standard text type that we're supposed to use. Any questions?
Can I ask a question, Yurika?
Sure, of course.
You might be looked into it, or maybe I just just kind of like I was keep on thinking about it, watching, and if it's like reasons, just tell me. I just not a drafter, as you know. But I was wondering, did you guys look into kind of have a gaskets related to the glass and have a turn on, turn off when glass comes in? Because usually it's pretty straightforward. And I mean, this is how it comes in on the model. I know it's different in the detail, but just to have it maybe like a default one, if you have, you don't have to kind of think about it and it comes in with the glass.
So when we place the glass detail family, the gasket comes with, and then we just
No.
select. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, turn it on, turn it off, kind of.
We kind of discussed, but so far, 'cause, you know, the gasket, we have many different, and then the project has 1 inch, sometimes 1/8, sometimes 1 3/16. So it's
Yeah.
really hard to keep every component in one family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we don't do that. And then usually the gasket is inserted separately, individual.
Plus, you have to think
Okay.
about the workflow, right? Because typically, when Eureka's doing a job, the profile drawings that came from Jumpstart get converted into details, and she gets those for free. So usually you're not placing a piece of glass just randomly like this. You're probably copying the glass and gaskets from an existing detail because it'd be faster. Like you know, maybe, I think maybe when Amber's doing things and stuff, she might be building them this way sometimes, but I would think most of the draftsmen probably already have, you know, maybe they're swapping a piece of glass for a panel. So they would already have the gaskets, right? And then they would just, but right, Eureka, you're getting most of the details have the gaskets and glass in them to be, right?
So what I usually do is just grab the closest to detail, this whole thing, and place to the new one, or just create a duplicate view and then start to the cleanups. Yeah. So I don't place every component one by one. Try to make it shortcut as much as I can.
Yeah. So the gaskets are usually pretty typical to the pockets. So you probably already have that stuff in your job. You'd be borrowing rather than start from scratch anyway. So.
No, they would be different between glass and panels sometimes. It's kind of good thing to remember.
Yes, and also the thickness, invisible and captured is different. So if we have to control those visibility control, just
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I understand.
we tried a couple times, but it was too many stuff. We have to take care of it. So.
And we do have a library of all the gaskets anyway, right? That you can borrow from, you know. So if you need a 237 or a whatever, you can grab it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I think I covered every updated stuff. Any questions or any suggestions?
I got a question, and it might have been in like an older thing, but do we have like welds, like a generator for welds?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I tried looking at mine, but my my detailing tab isn't working. It says to contact Steve Watts.
It's supposed to be Alan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good question. Yes, under the www detailing tab, we have building details for the things. We have 1/4 inch and also 3/16, and then you can just draw here.
I was hoping it was going to make that noise when you drew it.
And then we also have this guy too. And then this is 3/16. If you like to change to 1/4, you can change it. And then, you know, always, this is not always 90 degrees. So sometimes you have to have 110 degree, sorry, not inch. Then you can change the angle too.
And then for the one that goes, like, could you, so if you click the other one up above, okay, so you could specify a length. So if like okay. So if the engineer says, oh, we need this to be 4 inches, you could just type in 4 inches and it'll make it the proper length.
This one is not controlled by property, so you can just drag.
Just drag it.
Yeah, okay. Drag it, whatever you like. And then if you need to switch to the 3/16, this is the one.
Nice.
And then we also have the wedding symbol as well. So you can add the symbol here. I'm sorry. Okay, then if it's filled, you can put filled, and you can specify the size, any nodes. It comes with all families over here. It's right over here.
So I have a question for you, Eureka. So when we first moved to Revit, there were a lot of people that were super comfortable in AutoCAD. And they were like, hey, you know, I think it's a lot faster to detail stuff in AutoCAD than it is to do stuff in Revit, right? Now, you know, we've made a lot of tools for 2D that we used to have in AutoCAD, now we have in Revit. And judging by this, you know, Alan took some of the stuff I did and made it way better and way easier. And you've got parametrics, you've got all this stuff in here. So at this point in time, you know, you've done AutoCAD for a long time and you've done Revit now for years. What's your opinion in terms of like, if people get used to it, is it just as fast to draw details in Revit as it was to do them in AutoCAD?
To me personally, if you have to design something, then CAD is always my preference because it's more, it has more freedom to modify modifications or any line types, line thickness, whatever. You know, pretty much I can do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you draw the drawing as following company standard, I think Revit is one of the good tools because you can't modify to against the company standard. So then less mistake, I believe.
Right.
So I'm kind of thinking about the freedom versus quality control of the shop drawing because that is my kind of goal, you know, producing the high quality of the shop drawing and accurate. So that case, I think Revit is one of the good tools. Still not the user friendly, I mean the drafter friendly, but to follow the standard, I think that's a good one. And then plus, again, like you said, Alan made a lot of tools. So that makes us more work easier.
Yeah. And my goal originally was to get a lot more parametric families for the perimeters, because that's where a lot of people spend time, you know, is drawing in all the stuff on the outsides too. So as we go, we'll get more of that too. So, okay, cool. That's good. I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
So that's why, you know, people kind of asking, hey, how come Jumpstart team doesn't use the Revit, still sticking a CAD? But they are designing. So that case, for example, the Revit doesn't take smaller than 1/32 stuff. So if we have like small corners or small lines, we have to fuzz it. So that case, the CAD is always the best tool. So it really depends on who is the, what are you doing? But as a drafter, to follow our standard, I think our Revit setup is pretty easy for our work. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And then once you get used to it, way faster because it's already there. So just drop in, put the stuff and done. Drop in, put the stuff down. It's easy. Yeah.
Got a question. So when you drop in like steel angles or whatever, and you have to notch it, in CAD it was easy, but Revit, since they're now families, like, is there another way that you guys go to notching things?
I usually use just the, you know, the shape of the angle and then put the notch hatch on top. So we do have the hatching for the notch also. Oops, I'm sorry. Where'd it go? Yeah, you have notch or hole horizontal, hole vertical. So if you have to have pilot hole in that steel or aluminum angles, you can also specify with the field region. That's what I do. I know in CAD you can actually cut it, which is good, but sometimes that creates more issues because it looks like we are using the standard parts, but it's actually modified, but there's no way to look at it. So.
Yeah. And then do we also have like a sealant bed generator? Like fast, like, oh, okay.
So use the field region. That's what we do. Or Amba actually has a lot of families for the sealant. So you can ask her if you need it. Yeah. So inside the family, that sealant is also separated families or separate regions. So You can check with her or you can create it all. Am I answering to your question? Okay.
Yep.
Anything else? Sorry, I said it should be 30 minutes, but it's actually going to 60 minutes.
It's okay. You still got 8 minutes left. So.
But thank you for coming. Sorry,
Yeah.
there's so many changes, but we try to make you make us easy and more simpler process. So if you guys have any questions or that stuff it really bugs you, hey, I always have to do that over and over and over, then link the stuff up to us so then we can discuss and make you guys easy.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Thank you for the new tools.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Yuriko.
All right.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks,
Bye,
Erika.
guys.
All right, bye.
Thank you, Rico.